Mark, in the 6-game run where you've gone undefeated now, are there areas where you've seen drastic improvement? Or 5-0, I'm sorry, where you've seen.
I like your thought process, but yeah.
Where you've seen drastic improvement, and maybe what are some of those areas?
Well, I think there's been gradual improvement. There's been some. I think the in football or in anything, right? If you do something incorrectly or wrong and you instantly correct it and you never make that mistake again, you're better. And that's the key to certainly playing football. Is if I'm learning how to communicate, or I learn how to fit a gap, or I learn how to whatever those things are. If you never make that mistake again ever, you're going to be a great player. And seeing that against again, whatever that is, a different formation or look or coverage, and do it correctly, then build confidence. All that stuff just snowballs on itself. Same thing if it's going the other way. If it's not, or you don't trust anything, very little is going to go right. But I think our guys and our coaches have done a great job of being very realistic and just kind of sticking with it. And obviously having the quarterback play and what has gone on there is a immeasurable factor, because that makes everybody better.
I feel like your offense is peaking at the right moment now in the season. And secondly, as coaches, you always talk about improving. And after yesterday's performance, where do you feel like the offense can improve after what they did?
A ton. That's what's amazing is those guys to beat a team that's as good as SC and in the way that we did. There was a bunch of stuff that we can improve upon, whether it's protections, front identification, coverage identification, progression by the quarterback. We had a couple missed assignments up front, a couple missed assignments on the perimeter. Had a couple penalties that were unnecessary, and then a ton of stuff on special teams. That punt return, again, Adoree Jackson is a superhero, but we really helped him out a ton. Defensively, still fits, still pad level, still all the things that you need to keep improving upon. And again, the important part is guys have to be willing and committed to doing that. And we had great meetings today, and guys were saying the right things, doing the right things of us measuring ourselves against us.
Aiden Schneider's 19 of 20 leads the nation in field goal percentage. Does that change the way your thought process works in the red zone, knowing it's almost a sure thing on those 4th and shorts when it's so tempting?
Well, it can. I mean, it can. It's certainly great to have that confidence in your back pocket. I love touchdowns. I really like touchdowns. But the way he's done it and the way, again, he has the total confidence of the team, that's a big deal too. When you're coming down, whether it's like the end of the first half, that might, 6 seconds, maybe 7 or 8, you're going to try to eke out a few more yards or take one more shot, or just bank on it. And so those kind of things are big.
Mark, after watching the tape today, I assume you watched the tape. Did you see a lot of improvement in the secondary? USC said that your secondary really played well and clamped down on their receivers. What did you see? Improvement,
and then stuff that can still be improved upon. So that again that's the sign, hopefully, of development, of improvement. Is you're beating a team that's really good, that is hot, that is extremely talented, and you're still overcoming some of your own mistakes. Like the first touchdown on the corner, that guy made an unbelievable catch. Charles could track it a little bit differently and maybe pick it. In my mind's eye, Charles Nelson is picking that ball, but that's a real, that's a great play. You got to tip your hat and move on. And there's a bunch of other stuff that we could clean up. I thought they made a bunch of plays on the ball that is cumulative, and then it gets those guys thinking. You could see them kind of catch and crouch in zone coverage, and expecting to get hit, and that's a good sign. And then, to be honest, we got lucky. We got lucky a few times with some drops and some missed throws that normally they don't happen, but all that probably is related somehow.
Cisse's return, was that something that you guys felt like this could have been the target date, or was that something he worked into? And then how you feel like he played after such a long, I guess, time on the bench?
Yeah, it was great to have him back out there. And to be honest with you, it was a surprise that it was that quick. And I think you asked me or somebody asked me that a couple weeks ago, and I was not being evasive at all. But yeah, just to have that we don't have a lot of depth or season depth. We have guys that are, it's experience on the run. And so anytime you can just pack that in with a guy that's at least been out there a little bit before is important and big. Players of the game before this one, sorry. Defensive players of the game were Joe Walker, and the scout of the week was Jeff Bieber, not Justin, but Jeff Bieber. Special teams player of the game was Khalil Oliver, and the scout of the week there was Langston Stuckey. Offensive players of the game, we had two. It was Vernon and Dwayne Stanford, and the scout of the week was Jairi Stewart.
Since it's Sunday/Monday, I was just going to ask you, when the Oregon State, with their struggles this year, is this a week where you do play up the rivalry thing and the anything can happen type mentality, or is it just about you guys doing what you've been doing?
Much more so about us, and just as we would as we did last week. It was about their fronts and their percentages of whatever, red zone, rundown, blitz versus all the things that we break down during the course of a leading up to a game plan, and it's absolutely all about us, and we don't want to reference our improvement or lack thereof against anybody else but us.
With the game on Friday instead of typically Saturday, how does that impact what you guys do during the week?
Yeah, today we did kind of everything we would do on a normal Monday except train. So we had no on-field practice. Did our normal meetings, normal weight training, normal team meeting, all that kind of stuff. And then tomorrow will be a Tuesday practice, a little bit modified, just as we would, with the end of the season coming, and then it'll play out from there. So Tuesday is a Wednesday practice, Wednesday is a Thursday practice, Thursday is a Friday practice, and then obviously game day.
Mark, Vernon said yesterday that he was, while playing, that he saw everything, every look, every scheme that you guys showed him, that the scout team showed him during the week of practice. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. Again, what does that say about your scout team and how valuable and important it is?
Those guys have been awesome, and it really is something that we need to talk about more. But nobody's generally interested in that. But those guys have worked their tails off, and particularly during these last 3 or 4 weeks, there's been some the uniqueness of each plan has been. A little bit more, there's significant difference between each opponent, and to simulate that at full speed and physically is hard, and especially defensively, our guys have been awesome. I know offensively, again, we don't have too many Juju Smiths running around, and to recreate those guys is difficult, but to get the looks, to get the formations, the adjustments, all those things, our guys have been doing a phenomenal job.
And how much did you watch the Stanford-Cal game last night?
I watched most of it. Yeah. Congratulations to Stanford, unfortunately. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
All right, man.